SIL purposely spilled coffee on my wedding dress because her best friend was my husband's ex. When her parents finally sided with me, she faked going missing for attention. Asterisk, asterisk. Hi, so I recently got into a big argument with my sister-in-law, and now nobody in the family is speaking to her anymore because of what happened. Let me explain. My sister-in-law, Amelia, 26F, has never liked me. I'm 28F, and I've been with her brother, Andy, 28M, for over 4 years now. And from day one, she's hated me because she believes I'm the one who ruined her best friend's chances of marrying her brother. To give you some context, Amelia and her best friend Emma, also 26F, have been inseparable since middle school. I honestly think it's because no one else could really tolerate them, so they just stuck together. Now, I know for a fact that Emma has had a huge crush on Andy for years, and they even dated for a while when he was in college. It was one of those on and off relationships that Andy eventually ended just a couple of months before his graduation. He told me he made it very clear to Emma that they weren't compatible, but on Amelia's insistence, he tried again. It didn't work. But Emma didn't get the message. Even after Andy ended it and told her he wasn't interested anymore, she kept waiting for him. She kept flirting, trying to keep the connection alive. When Andy graduated, he moved out and started living on his own, seeing less and less of both Amelia and Emma. And even though he was single for a few years after the breakup with Emma, Amelia couldn't take the hint. She still assumed he was waiting for her best friend. So, when Andy finally started dating again, it broke Emma's heart, and Amelia didn't take it well either. She thought there was no one more perfect for her brother than Emma, and so, she kept pushing him to reconsider. She fought with him about it, but Andy was done. Then, about a year later, I came into the picture. I met Andy through mutual friends, and we started dating. A few months later, he introduced me to his family, and from that moment on, Amelia decided she was never going to like me. I tried not to let it bother me. She had her reasons, but she didn't even give me a chance. She just knew I wasn't Emma, and that was enough for her to dislike me. I've met Emma several times during our relationship, and every time, it was the same. She would give me dirty looks, and Amelia would act like I didn't even exist. I didn't care. I knew Andy was happy with me, and that was all that mattered. Then, when we got engaged, Amelia didn't even congratulate us. She was the only one, but we still invited her to the wedding. Despite everything, we didn't want to cause any family drama. Plus, her parents, despite all their flaws, had always treated me well. They begged me to invite her, even though I didn't want to. They said she was just being immature, and they hoped that inviting her would help smooth things over. So we did. To our surprise, Amelia accepted the invitation. She even reached out to thank us for inviting her. She claimed she was finally accepting me into the family.
But it wasn't really about me.
She mentioned Emma a lot in her message, which was a clear sign that she was still bitter, but at least it was a start. My in-laws were happy about the situation, and we thought it was a step forward. But little did we know, things were about to take a very dramatic turn. The day of the wedding came, and things were running smoothly until about an hour before the ceremony. I was in my wedding dress, getting my makeup done, surrounded by my bridesmaids, my mother-in-law, my mom, and Amelia. Everyone was chatting and getting ready, and at one point, Amelia offered me an iced coffee. I didn't think anything of it and accepted it. But when she handed it to me, something strange happened. She suddenly flipped her wrist, and the coffee splashed all over the front of my dress. Ice cubes and coffee splattered across my bodice, ruining it completely. The lower half of my dress was spared for the most part, but the damage to my bodice was catastrophic. Everyone froze. I got up, trying to wipe it off, but I knew it was hopeless. The stains were already there. Amelia apologized profusely, but I could see the smirk on her face. It wasn't genuine at all. Her voice was too sweet, but the look in her eyes told me everything I needed to know. This was no accident. She had done this on purpose. I lost it. I screamed at her, crying and yelling, completely beside myself. My mother-in-law, my mom, and the bridesmaids rushed to my side, trying to help. They got my dress off as fast as they could, but I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't believe she had done this. Amelia kept apologizing, but it was clear to everyone that she didn't mean it. She wasn't sorry. If anything, she was enjoying my breakdown. She stayed in the room, watching me sob uncontrollably, refusing to leave. I asked her to go, but she wouldn't. Her audacity was overwhelming. How could she sit there and watch me cry after what she had just done? That's when my mother-in-law finally had enough. She turned to Amelia and asked, "Did you spill that coffee on purpose?" Amelia tried to deny it, but I called her out. I told her that I had seen her flip her wrist. She argued, but my mother-in-law shut her down. "Enough," she said. "You've done enough. It's clear that you're not happy about this wedding. I should never have expected you to act like an adult, to be happy for your brother. You've been a spoiled brat for too long. This is the last straw." Amelia tried to argue, but my mother-in-law was firm.
Leave. Now.
"If you don't, I'll have security escort you out." At that point, Amelia realized she was in real trouble. She tried to backpedal, claiming it was an accident, but no one was buying it. My mother-in-law was done with her, and Amelia had nowhere to hide. After some back and forth, Amelia finally stormed out of the room. I was still crying, but part of me was relieved. Amelia had exposed herself. Even her parents were finally seeing her for what she was. The rest of the day was a blur. I spoke to Andy, told him what happened, and he assured me that Amelia would not be at the ceremony or any other events. I didn't have to worry. He would make sure of it. The ceremony was delayed by about 45 minutes because I had to get my makeup touched up and the dress cleaned. But in the end, everything turned out fine. The hotel staff worked quickly, and the dress was returned to me in pristine condition. No trace of coffee anywhere. The ceremony went off without a hitch. Amelia wasn't there, and honestly, I didn't even think about her once we started dancing. By the end of the night, I was so happy to be married to Andy that nothing else mattered. But Amelia wasn't done. She started sending me messages, blaming me for everything. She claimed I was trying to replace her in the family, that I was brainwashing everyone against her. She admitted that the coffee incident was intentional and said she regretted not ruining my dress completely. I blocked her number and all social media accounts, but she kept coming at me, using fake profiles and burner phones. She even tried to call me. Finally, I unblocked her and called her out. I told her that she was pathetic and that maybe she and Emma should just get married to each other because they were clearly meant for each other. I let her have it. She didn't pick up at first, but when she did, I let her have a piece of my mind. She hung up, but I knew that would be the last time she ever tried to contact me. Since the wedding, my in-laws have cut off Amelia. They told me they regret ever trying to force me to invite her. They've made it clear that she won't be part of the family until she apologizes for what she did. And I'm fine with that. I have Andy, and that's all that matters. As for Amelia, she's on her own now, and she's made her bed.